Hi, I'm Mandy Neese. I work for Atlanta Paving and Concrete Construction. I'm the vice president, and I've been in the asphalt business for 18 years. I don't know that I ever felt like an outsider. I've definitely had those moments of being the only woman in a room at a pre-construction meeting or at a conference. It never fails. I'm one of the only women in a meeting, and uh, I think I've used it to my advantage because you're memorable. You walk in a room and there's 20 men and you're the only woman. I've used it to my advantage in that once you start speaking and people figure out that you know what you're talking about and you earn earn credibility over your, time, you kind of get confident enough that it doesn't bother you anymore. 18 years ago, it was, oh gosh, but now it's normal. I'm used to it. I think that what's so exciting about it is that I work for a really neat man. He's energetic and he lets me make decisions and he takes them and he runs with them. And
Mhm.
so for me, I've watched our company grow from the ground up. 10 years ago, we were absolutely nothing to now we're one of the premier contractors in Atlanta and doing all of the airport work and things like that. And we own an asphalt plant. We've purchased and grown from 27 employees when I started to 150. And
Wow.
so for me, coming from APAC, where I started at the biggest company there was at the time when
Uh-huh.
I got out of school to going to work for someone from the bottom up, it's given me the opportunity to grow it into something that I wanted to see. And we've got so much more we can do. So the potential for my company to grow is limitless at this point. Ideally, the biggest thing that I struggle with every day is that there's such a stereotype for construction workers, for blue collar workers,
Mhm.
and even myself. I mean, I go to the field all the time, and you can feel it when you walk in a gas station with I'll leave my vest on, and you'll see people look, and you're like, you wish that stereotype was gone because I think that has been the biggest issue with getting people to go into the construction business is kids are raised with this, I've got to go have an office job or I've got to go to college and I have to get this degree and I have to do it this way. And, I think we've sold ourselves short, but it's society in general. We have a bias towards what's a good job or what's not. And so I wish that we could promote our workforce a little bit better and explain to people there are real jobs and skilled jobs in the construction business, especially in the asphalt business. It's not easy. And it takes a lot
Yeah.
of, it takes smart employees and we've got to kind of change that, I hope, but that's such a huge issue. It's interesting. So I went back and pulled my files at the office, and we have 9 women who work in the field for us: roller operators, truck drivers. I have 3 CDL truck drivers, and
Mhm.
so that are women. And so we have a good start at hiring women and putting them in those positions. But I think we have to start young. I have 6 kids and 4 girls,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah. And so, but my little one is my baby and she's 7 and she's a tomboy like I was. And I said, she likes to get out and do things and hunt and fish and get dirty, but she loves to go to work with me. And I said, but that's how I was raised in it was that, I went and rode in a concrete truck in the summers. And
Sure.
so people who are raised around it, you can have that expectation. But I
Mhm.
think we have to start in the schools and start young with like STEM programs,
Mhm.
get these girls. I played with Lego. I think inherently, if you're not discouraged from playing with Legos or building things, then it happens. It's what
Mhm.
interests me. And if you're interested in it, then you should do it. And that's what I think that there are serious issues with people being discouraged, girls being discouraged from, going into math and science. You're a nerd, you're a this, you're that,
Mhm.
and so we have to start there, and start with a new generation and change their view of it. I think probably knowledgeable. I have done my best to continue learning
Mhm.
and to push the lead processes and the new envision process and understanding the recycling and the environmental side of it. a lot of my friends know I'm like the girl who recycles everything. And people make fun of me for it some days, but it's important. You know, it's important to protect our environment. I built a couple landfills when I worked at APAC, and I said, when you build a landfill and you see what happens, you realize that, you know, the asphalt industry is a recycling business. It's not a wasteful business at all. And so I think that learning and continuing knowledge and continuing my education has just been imperative. And I think the other thing is I'm just determined at this point. You know, I never gave up. I never got frustrated. You know, I set goals. It's, you know, to be goal oriented. You set a goal, you set a, you know, a timeline, and you go for it. And I've always kind of done that. I've always been employed. And so it's a nice thing to know that you've been determined and you learn everything you can. And I said, but I think the other thing is I'm just passionate about it. My mom makes fun of me. It's the, you know, I don't know how she ever raised three of us that became engineers, because she's very liberal artsy and an English major and things like that. And I said, but, you know, I'm so passionate about it that I want the everyday person to understand asphalt and why it's so good. And, you know, people ask me, they're like, why is this lane closure in? Or why are we doing it then? Or why are we doing it now? And I said, I've always been passionate enough to want to explain it to other people. And, you know, I do. I love it. I love asphalt. And people laugh about it because they're just like, you know, and I'm like, it's no different than the guy who flies a plane and loves being a pilot. I said, I like being an asphalt person. So it works. So just passion and determination, you know, and then knowledge, because it's changed. It's changed so much since I started. And, you know, we're running into technologies that are different. And if you don't stay on top of it, you're going to fall behind. I think that my mom and everyone else looks at me and goes, how do you do it all? And I said, I've been able to balance. You know, I'm at my kids' soccer games. I go to baseball games. You know, I help with the PTO, but I'm dedicated to my company as well. And so, you know, I work hard and I play hard, but I want people to know that it is possible to have balance, and it is possible to be successful as a woman, you know, and to do those things, to have a family and to have a husband and not destroy your whole life off of work, but that, you know, balance and work and success are possible for a woman. I think a lot of people, I mean, you know, I'm the baby of 5 children. And I said, I have 4 extremely successful siblings that have all done really well. And I know that my mom worked our whole life and had a great job. And I said, it was one of those things, you grow up watching a woman work and provide. And I said, she's strong. And I said, I want people to remember that, you know, it's possible. It's possible to keep working and you'll get there. Hard work pays off.